So today we're going to be looking at some of the craziest SEO news, and it is getting wild, my friends. So I'm just going to share my screen with you and we'll get straight into this. And if you haven't seen what's going on in SEO, it's pretty crazy. I'm going to show you some of the latest developments right now. Now, one of them is actually Google's market share. So if you look at Google's market share since March, which was 93% of the search engine market, you can see it at statcounter.com. And I'll run through some of the craziest reactions to this as well recently. But what you can see here is that essentially Google's market share is just dropping like crazy. It's absolutely wild right now. And I'm going to come on to some of the reasons why that is. But as you can see, it's dropped from 93% just last month in just in March 2023. And you can see month by month, it's just gradually going down, right? So April 2023, 92%. Back up to 93%. Then June, it was 92% again. In September, the market share of Google went down to 91%. And now you can see it's dropped all the way down to 88%, which is pretty wild right there. Sonny says hello. Jaden says hello. Hello to you both. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions, feel free to post them and I'll answer any FAQs that you've got as well. But this is just absolutely wild right now because, as you can imagine, Google's always been like the monopoly, not the monopoly, but it's always owned the market share of everything that's going on. And right now, it's dropping massively in terms of like its growth overall. Now, if you look at some of the reactions on Twitter, for example, like Charles Float posted it, you can see that over the last 30 days, that's when things have really ramped up, right? And you can actually see that Bing, who obviously launched Copilot into their search engine recently, Bing are actually doing really well. So Bing have grown from 3% in March 2024 in terms of search engine market share, and that's grown to 4.75%, which is quite substantial when you think about it. To grow from 3% to 4.75%, and also the trajectory over time to see Google's trajectory going down and Bing's going up, absolutely crazy. Now, I don't know whether that's going to continue, but I do think that things are changing in the SEO world a lot as well. Jaden says, have you seen the Harrow news? Yeah, that was something else I was going to show, but we can just get straight into that now if you want. So if we open up helperreporter.com, you can actually see that it's now forwarded to Connectively. So you can't go onto Harrow, aka helperreporter.com anymore, and it's joined with Connectively. So it says featuring Harrow. And if you want to do Harrow pitches, I think they have like a few free pitches that you can send per month for link building. But mostly, if you want to be using helperreporter.com for link building now, you're going to have to pay, essentially. And if we sign in, I can show you exactly what it looks like. But yeah, absolutely crazy. But to see Google's market share drop like that, it's just absolutely insane. But one of the things that I found, for example, if I'm trying to get like instructions for using some sort of software online, typically I just use ChatGPT right now. And I can imagine if people are already using Bing, then it's only going to become more useful because you can just get answers straight away. The other thing that I've seen, for example, if we compare, let's go into bing.com, we'll type that in and we'll just do an example search, right? So if I type in my name, Julian Goldie, right? The first thing that comes up is fiverr.com and it's a sponsored listing, which doesn't really make sense. Whereas if we go onto bing.com, let's delete that and I'll show you exactly what I mean. We'll put Julian Goldie into the search results. You can see that my website comes up with links to the most relevant parts about me. So if people search me, then obviously they're going to want to go to the contact page or booking a free call, etc. And then it's got my YouTube links. Then it's got my other website, juliangoldie.co.uk. Then it's got a few videos of me, etc. And just the listings on Bing seem to be a lot more useful than if you compare them to Google, where you've got fiverr.com coming up first, which doesn't really make sense. And then if we scroll down, it's got a link to my Twitter, which I think most people are not searching for. Then it's got a link to like my Instagram. I don't think most people are looking for my Instagram if they Google me, but it's got no links to my website, right? Absolutely crazy. Whereas even a website that I set up a couple of weeks ago is already ranking on the first page and at the top for juliangoldie.co.uk. So to see Google's market share dropping so big, I'm not surprised because I think the quality of search results as they're trying to fix it is just dropping. As another example of this, and this is something that a lot of people in the SEO world have been going crazy about. If we look at, for example, blackhatworld.com, and we open this up right here. So this is a website about black hat SEO tips, right? So stuff that Google doesn't necessarily like. They might have some white hat stuff on there as well, but it's mostly about black hat stuff. Now you can see since the helpful content update last year, their traffic is actually is quadrupled since the helpful content update. So previously they were at 51,000 traffic as an estimate on Ahrefs, and now you can see that's grown to over 219,000 traffic. And it's absolutely insane to see a website that's all about kind of breaking Google's guidelines and not doing what they like. You can see how well they're performing in terms of traffic, which is insane. And then you can see this again with reddit.com as well. If we wait for their traffic to load right there. And essentially, it seems like forums and user-generated content is ranking better and better. And after the core update, which is still rolling out, the traffic is just increasing for all of these sort of sites. So pretty insane times right here. Google market share dropping, forums ranking better than ever, even if they're about super black hat stuff. Jaden says that graph is crazy. Things are definitely changing. Yeah, for me, it's going to be interesting to keep a track of that and see what happens this year, because obviously for Google, like even if they lose a tiny percentage of the market share, that's huge for them in terms of revenue, in terms of money. So it's quite, I mean, for me, like I've always liked Google as a product. So it's quite sad to see that. And, you know, hopefully they recover it and hopefully the quality of results improves. But right now, it seems like just forums and user generated content is ranking better than ever. But, you know, for example, if you look at the Reddit results that actually rank, quite often they're spammed by people just trying to put their affiliate links inside there. Or when you find a Reddit post ranking on the first page of Google, which you often do for most search terms, if you look at the comments, quite often they've been deleted because Reddit's trying to clean up the amount of affiliate marketers using that channel for traffic, right? And so the quality of results in search engines like these versus, say, Bing is dropping all the time. So hopefully they get it fixed, but right now, very, very messy. And the Google Core Update is still rolling out as well, which is quite unusual. So normally, if you look at a Google Core Update, and I'll share my screen again, I'll give you an example. So normally Google Core Updates, they last about, I would say, maybe 30 days, 1 month, something like that. But as you can see with the latest March 2024 Core Update, that is still rolling out right now. So it's been well over a month since it started rolling out, and it's just continuing over time. So pretty crazy to see this right here. Shabazz says, hello to you too. And one of the other things that I would say, right, if you've been hit in the latest Core Update and you've lost a lot of traffic, this is very interesting to see. I'm going to share my screen, and it's still relevant to what we're talking about. So if I share my screen right here and I'll show you what I mean, you can see the traffic for Bing that I'm getting for a website that actually got removed from Google. So you can see chipperbirds.com. This was an AI site. Always said it would get clapped eventually, and it did. It was just an experiment. But what you can see here is previously in January 2024, we were at 62 clicks a day, right? Now, we've not really changed much on the website, but you can see that in terms of traffic, that has grown from 62 clicks a day to 157 on April the 8th, right? And so as you can see, the amount of impressions for this website and the amount of clicks is just going up for this website. And I think you can imagine to see that across all of your sites, because if more people are using Bing, you're going to get more traffic from Bing. And even if you've been clipped by an update from Google, you might see that actually you're getting more clicks and still making money, which we are, from this particular site. So pretty crazy to see that as well. You can see the trajectory too. So you can see it's grown from like 68 clicks a day, 69 clicks a day, all the way up to 157 clicks a day. And Bing is getting a decent amount of traffic. Yeah. Jaden says that update is still going madness for sure. I don't think they're going to roll this one back, but it's probably been the biggest update I've seen for years and years and years. Right? It was one of the craziest updates. I think there was a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. That's why I've been doing so many videos about how to get traffic from other sources. For example, like my video yesterday was about YouTube, and we might do more videos on like how to get traffic from Twitter, from LinkedIn, from Facebook groups, from email lists, etc. If you want to see that, just let me know in the comments. We'll be doing a local SEO tutorial as well very soon too. But yeah, crazy times, people. So we have covered Google's dropping market share, increase in traffic from Bing, the Google Core Update so far, Black Hat Worlds traffic going up as well, and Helper Reporter now switching fully to Connectively, which took a long time actually. I thought that was going to happen sooner, but yeah, Helper Reporter is gone. And that's going to be pretty interesting for some agencies who just rely on Harrow for link building for their clients, because it's not no longer it's not really a relevant channel for link building. People might be using Connectively now, but yeah, all going to change. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. And if you're enjoying this video, please feel free to smash a like. It would just help me reach more people and help more people, and share the love. So I'm going to share my screen now as well, and I'll show you something else that's quite interesting. This happened a few days ago, but it's really good news for SEOs, I think, especially if you're relying on Google for traffic. So Google are talking about actually making search generative experience a paid feature, not a working feature on search, right? So for example, if I go onto Google right here and I type in like, what is SEO? I've got the early beta access to search generative experience right here. And you can see it's pretty brutal for website owners, because if you click on show more right here, you can see how much real estate search generative experience actually uses. And you can see that it doesn't really link to many websites, only 2 websites. It's not like organic where it links to like 10 different websites, which means that a lot less sites would get traffic. And usually it's only going to be the big brands, for example, in SEO, MailChimp, Search Engine Land, to massive like DR90 or DR70 websites, which means there's not much room for the little guys, right? Whereas if Search Generative Experience becomes a paid feature, which makes sense because it uses up so much resources, then you can imagine that's good news for SEO, because then less people are going to use it. If less people use it, that means that people can still get more traffic from Google, because there's not just 2 links to a site. Instead, it's going to be like the organic listings like normal, right? So I think that's really good news. Hopefully it does become a paid feature for people. But yeah, the other thing that I would say as well is, like, if you look at search generative experience, the early version of it, and obviously it's in beta, it's going to improve, but you can see that it's not the most useful experience for someone searching for information, right? So if you ask what is SEO, I think what will be more useful is like an actual video, like a link to a YouTube video explaining what is SEO, how it works, etc. So yeah, interesting stuff. I'm going to run through some of the comments now. So Jaden says, Harrow going to miss their emails. I used to get bombarded with Harrow emails, sometimes like 10 times a day. If you sign up for different lists, it's pretty crazy. And Aubrey says, yes, videos on alternative traffic sources would be great. Yeah, I saw, like, for example, Jesse Cunningham. He's talking a lot about Facebook marketing, which is super interesting. Niche Site Lady as well on Twitter. She's talking mostly about Facebook marketing and other traffic sources too. So I think it's a great time for that, especially for people who got hit. We can help them more and hopefully get them their traffic back, that sort of thing. Marcus says, thanks for the videos. Happy to help. And Jaden says, I heard about that. Who is going to pay for that? Only people with more money than common sense. That's the thing. I mean, if you compare what you can get out of, say, ChatGPT versus search generative experience, I'd probably go with ChatGPT. However, if you could pay for like Gemini and then you get access to search generative experience as well, that makes total sense to me, because then with Gemini you can integrate that AI with like your emails, with YouTube, etc., with your Google Drive. That would be pretty cool. And then if you get search generative experience included, that'd be useful. I don't think it's going to be the best thing I've seen since sliced bread, but it might be useful for some people. ArtTube says, good post, thanks for sharing, happy to help. And Shabbat says, have you checked the latest authority hacker video? They too talked about how websites have not recovered from HCU, so the helpful content update last year, and how bigger sites are moving to review keywords. See, this makes total sense to me, because I think if you look at things from Google's perspective, right, they're really struggling in terms of like the amount of AI content that's flooding the internet, and particularly low quality content, right? And so from their perspective, I can see why they're ranking bigger brands, for example, like Forbes, like Reddit, etc., even like Black Hat World, because the thing is, these sites have a lot of authority. And if anyone can create content and create content at scale, then how do they differentiate between sites? Well, it's got to be authority, it's got to be backlinks, EAT, etc. I don't think it creates the best results in terms of search engine ranking. So if you look at any sort of review keyword and it's like Forbes ranking for everything, are they the experts on everything? No. So it's an interesting one. I haven't watched the full Authority Hacker video. I know Lily Ray was on it as well. But I really like Authority Hackers videos. Like, we had Gail Breton on the channel. He's a bit of a beast at SEO. Gave a lot of good tips. And Jaden says, yeah, I agree the combo might work. Facebook user says hello to you too. And we're going to keep going through some of the latest FAQs I got. And if you have any questions in the chat, just feel free to post them as well. The other thing I was going to say is I actually spoke at SEO Mastery in Saigon yesterday. Let me show you some of the pictures. It's pretty crazy. This was like an absolutely awesome event run by Mads Singer. Shout out to Mads, who's always helped me in the past. Like he's done a lot of trainings with me for SEO and that sort of thing. He's helped me learn to. He actually ran a management training workshop a couple of years ago in Chiang Mai that I attended. So this was with Mad Singer. And since then, I've just scaled the agency like crazy because I learned how to hire and manage people properly. But yeah, this was the event. So you can see suited and booted right there, ready to go on stage. About 400 people in the room. It was crazy. Some great speakers on as well. There's Mad Singer. Welcome me onto the stage right there. If you're not following me on Instagram, feel free to see me going onto the stage right there, rocking the mic, talking about the SEO Hall of Fame. But yeah, it was an absolutely awesome event. I was talking about video backlink magnets and how to get backlinks via videos and that sort of thing. And then, yeah, cheeky little PopCat meme right there. Yeah, just a great event overall. So yeah, pretty cool. Learned a lot of things. And actually, what I'm going to do after the end of this SEO Mastery Summit in Vietnam, I'm actually going to do a video summary where I summarize everything that I've learned from the event, because I've basically written down all the tips and everything that I've learned so far so that I can share with you as well. ArtTube says, very excellent info. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. Happy to help. And Jaden says, thanks. Looking good, Julian. Appreciate you watching. So I'm going to present my screen now and we'll run through some of the latest FAQs and questions that we got as well. So let me share my screen right here. So let's have a look right now. So Thunder says, thanks, man. I'm looking forward to making a few calculators for tax and accounting. Love your content. Good to see other young entrepreneurs on the cutting edge of what's current. HMU with your Discord. Yeah. So this is probably one of the best features of ChatGPT. And I think if you're scared of using AI content or you don't feel comfortable with it, I mean, for example, for our clients, we just sell human content. By the way, feel free to book in a call if you want a free SEO strategy session about link building or human content. But essentially, ChatGPT is so powerful for creating these calculators, right? So I'm just going to pull this up and I'll show you an example of what I mean. So if we have a look at this page right here, let me log in and I'll try and find it. I'll show you later. But basically, if you go into ChatGPT, you can like create these calculators with ChatGPT. So you can get the HTML code from ChatGPT, build your own calculator, and then embed it into your website. Now, if you look at a lot of keywords out there, in pretty much every single industry, every single niche, you can find calculator-related keywords that you could potentially rank for. And the cool thing about this, right, if you look at search generative experience or you look at AI and what it creates, it's not going to give you a tool, which means that people have to click into your website to actually use that tool, right? So, for example, if I'm using search generative experience, right? And I type in like SEO calculator and I click generate for that result, right? It can't actually generate an SEO calculator inside the search results, which means that I actually have to click through to a website, which means this is always going to be a keyword that gets traffic for as long as AI can't create a tool directly inside the search results. And that's going to generate more traffic to your website, right? So even if search generative experience rolls out, these are some of the best keywords to go for, calculator related keywords. You can easily build them inside ChatGPT. So you just say like, right, create a HTML calculator for SEO ROI, for example, and you can replace SEO ROI with any sort of keyword that you want to go for, any sort of industry, etc. And then it will generate the HTML inside there that you can embed into your website so that you can rank for keywords like this and actually get traffic to your website. Whereas, for example, if we go into Google and we're like, can parrots eat grapes, right? Question I ask myself every day. You can see that you're just going to get the answer straight in the search engine results, which means it's not going to generate much traffic. So how do you find keywords like this? You just type in, for example, calculator into whatever your favorite tool is, and then whatever your niche is. So it might be like productivity calculator. And you can see these are usually quite easy keywords to go for. They generate a lot of traffic because people actually have to click through to your website to use that tool. And you can easily build these with ChatGPT, embed them into your website, maybe create a guide on how to use it, and then you're actually creating something really useful and helpful for users that's actually going to rank as well and generate a lot of traffic. So one of the best ways to use AI for SEO. Let's have a look if we've got any more comments right here. I'm going to blow up the screen right here. Jaden says calculators are evergreen niche. That's the thing. I think for now, calculators are some of the best keywords to go for, and that's the way the internet is shifting towards, right? So if AI can just generate information like that within 1 minute, then there's no point trying to rank for those keywords long term, right? It just doesn't make sense. Whereas if you go for like calculator and tool related keywords that actually create something useful you can't find anywhere else, then it's one of the best ways to rank. Artube says, I'm curious. I want to launch a website. Do you recommend web pages or Fiverr if I'm not great at building a website, right? So if you're not great at building a website, then you can easily hire someone on Fiverr.com, or you can easily hire someone on Upwork.com to create that website for you. And it might cost like, I don't know, lowest you can pay is probably like $10 or $20. The most you might want to pay is like $1,000 maximum. But if you're on a budget, then you can just build a website pretty quickly. Again, if you use a website like, for example, Easy Blog Networks to host your website as well, then they can actually install WordPress for you with a one-click install, right? And it will host your website on a separate hosting, separate IP address, etc. as well. So it's good for just protecting your website long-term in terms of rankings. And additionally, yeah, you can just build a website, say, right, I want to install WordPress, I want to install this theme, etc. And then you can build a website in like one click. So if you're not great at building websites, go to Fiverr, go to Upwork, hire someone cheap. If you want to do it on a even smaller budget, then use something like Easy Blog Networks. But yeah, I would always recommend building a website versus ranking on like Fiverr.com, because, for example, if you rank on Fiverr.com, number one, you don't have much control of it. Number two, if Fiverr decide they don't like what you're doing one day, then they can take your whole profile down. I've seen that happen many a time. And additionally, when you build your own website, you're building your own asset. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that you get your traffic from Google, right? So if you send traffic to it from YouTube, from Twitter, from LinkedIn, from Facebook, from even Pinterest, for example, then you can build an asset that's worth loads of money, and it's just going to compound over time as you get more traffic from different sources. Whereas for Fiverr.com, you don't own that asset, and therefore it's not sellable, and you have less control over time. Yorkie Universe says, I don't think I'm smart enough to make a calculator even with ChatGPT. So if you want to learn how to do that, I've actually got a calculator section inside my free SEO course that teaches you step by step how to do it. And what I would say is, if you get stuck along the way, you can actually ask ChatGPT to help you, right? So for example, I'm planning to learn how to use N8N to build some AI agents to help me automate a lot of stuff in my agency, for example. And all I'm going to use to help me along the way, because I'm not a technical person, is ChatGPT. So if I get stuck, I just ask it for instructions. It helps me figure stuff out along the way. And it's really useful like that. So I'm just going to run through some of the other FAQs from yesterday. Let me just present my screen right here. Jaden says, have you got any more interviews lined up for the channel? I'd love to see Carl Roof on the channel again. Busy man, but he always gives good info. I was actually in a mastermind with Carl Roof a couple of days ago. So I did the masterminders.com mastermind, and that was in Vietnam again, just before the SEO Mastery Summit began. And yeah, I was in a mastermind with Carl Roof. Jamie IF was there as well, who's quite big on Twitter. And some of the ideas I got from that mastermind were absolutely insane. So yeah, I think we should get Carl Roof on the channel again as well. I think he always gives great info. Super smart guy, great at explaining stuff, and he was actually leading the group. So he was one of the best sort of people to bring, everyone together and get new ideas and brainstorm and that sort of thing. So we'll get Carl Roof on again for sure. Let's do it. Ron says, what is your opinion of Pinterest pins for SEO? I think Pinterest is an awesome platform for getting traffic. I want to learn more about it, and I want to create like a case study where I can show you exactly how to use it in the right way to get more traffic. So yeah, I think maybe Chipper Birds will be a really good website for doing that, because it's already monetized with ads, it's already monetized with affiliate, and we could probably do an interesting Pinterest case study using that platform as well. Maybe we'll get some Pinterest marketers on the channel just to explain how to use it. Thanks. Happy to help out, Tube. Jaden says, that's awesome. Yeah, love to see him again. Yeah, I think what we should do as well is, whilst I'm here in Saigon, we'll just get a bunch of video clips from different SEOs, right? So, for example, you're like YouTubers like Yaume Ross here, James Dooley, Carl Roof is here. Matt Diggity, I bumped into him yesterday. It's all sorts of interesting people here. And yeah, I'll try and get some video clips whilst I'm here. And we'll do some videos together and interviews. Ghost Mage says, happy Eid Mubarak. Happy Eid to you too. And Ron says, a case study on Pinterest would be great. Look forward to that. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get it. Let's set it up. We might get Jesse on the channel as well, Jesse Cunningham. And we'll try to interview him about Facebook marketing because I know he's a bit of a beast at that. So let's run through some of the other questions that we got recently. So Bike Racer said, in a nutshell, Google wants original content and not AI generated content. Seems to me we were back at the beginning and have gone full circle on content creation. Definitely feels like there's cycles in SEO, right? So like, for example, if you go back to like 2017, all sorts of dodgy stuff was working. Google wiped it out and then everyone started rebuilding again. And it feels like that, this year as well. But what I've never seen before is a loss in market share at this scale, right? So if you look at Google and they've lost like 5% market share in 1 month, that is absolutely crazy. And yeah, it's all happened since the Google Core update's been released. So I don't think, if you look at Google's AI generated guidelines as well, they actually say they reward content however it's produced, whether it's human or AI. And I've seen a lot of good AI sites ranking, but I think what they don't like is just spam, like non-edited spam. They're just trying to remove that and get rid of that ASAP, which I totally understand. And Simon says, local SEO, please. Yeah, I'm going to do a local SEO class when I get back at the end of the week, once I'm back to the office, etc. So that'll be interesting. And Julie says, did you just say that the most important metric is domain strength, not page strength? If the DR is 30 and the PR is low, should you do anything? So yeah, if we go on to, we can go on to this example, right? Productivity calculator. If we go onto this page, what you're going to see typically is the pages with the least backlinks are on the second page, right? So 0, 0, 0 backlinks, 0 backlinks, 1 backlink, etc. All the pages with the least backlinks are on the second page. If you look at the rankings on the first page, it's like, right, 7 backlinks to this page, 2 backlinks to this one. Actually, a DR0, well, that's a great niche, isn't it? Look at that. DR0 website ranking on the first page of Google. Only 2 backlinks pointing to it. That's, if anyone's starting a new website, that's a great niche. Let's have a look and check out their website right here. So you can rank as a DR0. It's quite rare. But as you can see, this is probably like a 1-page website. Yeah, 1-page website, productivitycalculator.com. And yeah, they've probably just built one calculator on the first page. So typically it is the pages with the most backlinks that are ranking. It doesn't necessarily come down to DR, but that does help a lot, especially for more competitive keywords. So for example, if we put in, I don't know, best guitar, something like that, right? And we scroll down, you'll see on the first page of Google right here for more competitive keywords, you got like DR99s, you got a DR95 right there, DR79, 72, etc. All high authority websites. Then if you look on the second page of Google or the third page, you can see a DR8, DR18, etc. All the lower DR sites are like on page 3. So yeah, typically the rankings come down to backlinks, domain rating, and DR, etc. Matthew says you can't train AI with AI content. Yeah, I think this is really important to know as well. Like, for example, if you're creating content, you've got to really look at, okay, how can I differentiate my content? And also, how can I avoid the hallucinations that typically come with AI, right? So, for example, if you look at ChatGPT, I think it hallucinates 3% of the time these days. It used to hallucinate like 50% of the time when it comes to AI content. And one of the easiest ways for Google to figure out if your content is AI generated and if it's just AI generated spam is to compare your content and the facts inside it versus, say, a database or a vault of facts that it knows are 100% true, right? And if it sees like a differentiation between them, then it's going to easily figure out that your AI content is just full of hallucinated rubbish and it's not going to rank it, right? So if you can give your own data set that's been, checked properly, checked for accuracy, etc., and you can train ChatGPT on it or any other sort of LLM, well, then when you're using these AI models, the facts that you get back are going to be much more accurate because you're using your own custom data set. Also, if you can give it some source context, if you can fact check it, and additionally, if you can use something like the content quality checklist that I've talked about on YouTube and also give away inside my free course, then you've got a much better chance of ranking and also staying ranking, right? Jaden says, e-com sites are doing well in this update. Have you noticed, Julian? Yeah, one of my dropshipping websites is currently blowing up with 169% traffic increase. So that's great to hear. Congrats on growing your traffic. Yeah, I'm going to pull up a very interesting case study since the core update. And this website is just absolutely blown up, right? And I'll explain why in a minute. So I'm going to pull up dogster.com, for example. And if we pull up their brand, right? So back in February, they were getting 173,000 traffic, roughly, right? Ahrefs is just an estimate. Then you can see, just as the core update was kicking off, they were getting 448,000 traffic. And then after the core update, they've gone up to 1.1 million traffic, right? So they've pretty much 10x their traffic, or 5x it at least, since February, just in 2 months. Now, how have they done that? If you actually look at Dogster and you check out this brand, number one, yes, they have a lot of authority and a lot of backlinks pointing to the website, but additionally, they're an e-commerce store, right? So they're a real brand. And one of the reasons I think this is because if you look at these particular websites, particularly e-commerce, they have all the signals of being a real business, right? So if you look historically at what Google tends to penalize, it tends to penalize niche sites, it tends to penalize affiliates, right? These are the two sorts of sites it goes after. And that's because these sites are typically an intermediary that send traffic elsewhere. Whereas, for example, if you look at it from Google's perspective, why would they send traffic to an intermediary to make money and then to make money later on the e-commerce site to like Amazon or whatever? What they would realistically want to do is just send traffic to an actual business, an actual brand that's providing value straight on the website and isn't acting as an intermediary. And so we've seen a lot of e-commerce sites do really well, and especially because they're real businesses, they're real brands, they've got the EAT signals, right? They've got e-com stores set up on the website. They're not sending traffic elsewhere. One of the craziest things that I've seen a lot of people talk about is actually create fake stores on their website, like a fake e-commerce store on their website, to kind of signal to Google that they're a real brand and a real business. I don't recommend that, but it is something I've seen a lot of people talk about. Danilo says, looking for jobs. I think one of the main jobs that we'll probably be recruiting for soon is maybe a human writer for our website, Rank and Clap SEO. So if you're an expert SEO writer, feel free to get in touch. You can drop me a message on Twitter or LinkedIn, etc., or email me at juliangoldie.com, and we'll be hiring for that soon. 30 says, what is the best niche selection at the moment? I always get stuck on that. Is it possible to do a single product or like 10 for affiliate and rank it? So yeah, I wouldn't recommend going for affiliate websites right now. I don't think that's the best business model, honestly. I think if you are starting a brand new website from scratch, try and find a niche where you're an actual business and you're actually creating something where you own the brand and the business. To give you an example, right? If you're an agency websites are performing really well. So agency websites, e-commerce sites, these are performing really well because they're real businesses. And they're not just like niche sites acting as an intermediary. So for example, if you have a service you can sell, this would be a really good niche. And additionally, if you can combine that with local SEO, right? So if you're an SEO agency or a designer, for example, or like a Facebook ads agency, and you just target like every city, every suburb, every state, etc., then you're combining a real business, aka an agency or a service-based business, with local SEO, which means that you're much more likely to rank. And it's going to be easier to rank because local SEO is low competition. A lot of our sites that are performing really well, AI and human generated, are typically local SEO sites because it's just so easy and it's less competition. Most people are not going to create content around local SEO keywords. So yeah, go for a real business. And I think the three things that are going to perform really well, and I'm already seeing this with e-commerce, are number one, e-commerce sites, number two, agency sites, and number three, infoproduct sites, right? So if you sell some sort of coaching or course within your website, then number one, you get 100% of the profits, right? You're not sharing that with someone else for affiliate. Number two, it's probably going to be you focused on building an audience. For example, if you look at my website or Authority Hacker, for example, they're building an audience to grow the sales of their services or their info products, etc. And so you look like a real business. You're not sending traffic elsewhere, and you're building a brand, not building a niche site. So I hope that helps. Jaden says, cheers, bro. E-com is the way to go. I would totally agree. And says, I've been working on this site in the past year, so the efforts are now paying off. Good on you. Hard work pays off. SEO is a long-term game. Building a brand is a long-term game. And I think if you look at the future of SEO, it's all about brand, right? It's all about EAT. That's only going to become more important. More backlinks, more authority, bigger audiences, more social media channels. That's what the game is all about. And Kyron says, what are the best new AI tools for SEO and lead generation? Do you know what? I've not actually seen, since the core update, I've not seen many AI tools launch. So that's an interesting one. I was speaking to Yaume Ross. He just launched ClickSo, which is kind of like a Uber Suggest or Ahrefs alternative, right? But it's more affordable for beginners. So I would recommend checking out clicks.so. I need to do a video review on it. It looks really cool. And I think that's one of the most exciting tools, because for most people watching this channel, they're not agencies, right? And if you're an SEO, you probably don't want to spend like $1,000 a month on something like a Ahrefs like we do. And so you can use a more affordable tool like ClickSo, for example. And there was a keyword clustering tool. I was trying to find that out. I think it was called K-means clustering. That was something I wanted to check out. It's basically a way of clustering keywords. I found that out at the latest Mastermind that I did a couple of days ago. So I need to check more about that, but that looks interesting. 30 says, thanks, bro. Happy to help. James says, hey, fam. Hello. And ArtTube says, sorry, one last question. How do I create affiliate marketer income on my new website? Thank you kindly. Do you want to know a little hack for affiliate marketing? I was talking to Affiliate School actually yesterday, and we were talking all about like the future of affiliate marketing, what's working for him. Check out his YouTube channel if you want to see some free tutorials on affiliate marketing. But essentially, we were talking about how if you were doing affiliate marketing these days, you might not necessarily want to create a website, because websites are very volatile when it comes to affiliate marketing. Google is only cracking down and reducing traffic to affiliate sites. Number 3, you're not really building a real brand. And number 4, it's very obvious in terms of signals on the website that you're sending traffic elsewhere. You're not keeping the traffic within your own ecosystem. So the best alternative, if you want to get traffic from day one with affiliate marketing and start getting some sales literally from today, then I would highly recommend doing YouTube videos. Because the cool thing about YouTube videos is, number 1, a lot of people get their information from YouTube. Number 2, if I see a really good tutorial about a particular product or review, like I was trying to buy a briefcase the other day, and I was trying to figure out, okay, what's the best briefcase? And I'm not going to go to Reddit for that, right? I want to see someone actually reviewing it, showing exactly what it looks like, how to use it, etc. And so if I see a really good YouTube tutorial where I know someone's put effort into creating that review, I'm going to click on their affiliate link just to reward them, right? Because I'm like, that's a great piece of content. I need to reward this person with an affiliate click. And so I think YouTube is probably one of the best places in the world for affiliate marketing. And additionally, if you create a video on YouTube that's like a product review and it's actually valuable, well, that's going to get traffic from day one. It's going to get views from day one. Less people will click off YouTube, but the people who do click off it as well will convert better into sales. So I would highly recommend just doing YouTube SEO. If you want to learn about that, I've got a free YouTube course inside my SEO course, links in the comments and description. And that will basically show you step by step exactly how to start with YouTube, how to start creating content, what type of content to create, why you don't need a fancy setup. So you can I'm literally recording this from like a webcam on my laptop and a little portable short microphone. So yeah, I hope that helps. Affiliate marketing I don't think it's great for websites these days, and I think that's only going to become harder, but I do think it's great for YouTube. And additionally, if you're creating a lot of YouTube videos around affiliate marketing keywords, right? So for example, if I created like a SE ranking review and then a ClickSo review, etc., then those are going to rank on Google as well, which means that you get traffic from YouTube, you get traffic from Google. If there's an update that comes along, I don't think that Google's going to wipe out YouTube videos as well. So I think it's safer long term and more stable. And yeah, I'm not going to go on too much about YouTube, but I think it is one of the best marketing platforms in the world in 2024. And it's And I run an SEO agency. I have no reason to tell you that, but yeah. So thanks so much, everyone, for watching. I hope this was helpful. If you want to get a free SEO strategy session, make sure you check out the link in the comments description. We can give you a custom tailored plan on exactly how to get more traffic and more leads and more customers using SEO. Feel free to get that links in the comments description. If you want to get my SEO course with 8 different ways to get traffic, not just SEO. So it includes tips on YouTube marketing, Twitter, Facebook groups, pretty much everything you can imagine when it comes to traffic diversification. I think this is one of the best times to start planning around that because SEO is getting harder. And, a lot of people watching this probably got hit, just like pretty much everyone I know offline got hit during the update. It was a tough one. So, yeah, if you want to get that, links in the comments description. Thanks so much, everyone who's watching. Terry has one last question before we go, who says, do you have info on if the hits are geared mostly towards English language sites? Wondered if Spanish language sites were being affected too. So this is an interesting point, actually. I spoke to a lot of people at the SEO Mastery Summit. Some of them do foreign SEO and some of them do English SEO. Some of them do both, right? And what we saw across all of the websites that got clapped, number one, some of them were human sites. Number two, some of them were AI sites, but there didn't really seem to be any sort of trend between them. But one of the most interesting things was that it was mostly English sites that got hit, right? So foreign sites didn't get hit so much. I think that's because it's easier for Google to recognize patterns and recognize dodgy stuff in English versus like if Google's trying to crack down on sites in like Poland, well, it's going to be hard to figure out, okay, what's that content about? What are they doing? What are the patterns, etc. I think it's just more time consuming and harder to crack down on black hat in foreign languages. Marcus says, and also like they don't get as much traffic from foreign search engines, in different markets and secondary or third markets versus like US and UK and English searches, which probably makes up the majority of their traffic. I'd have to check that in terms of stats. Marcus says, please check stat counter mobile versus all platforms development last month. Interesting, I think. Thanks for the good video. Yeah, we might do another video on that. We'll cover it in a future live. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate it. As always, see you on the next one. Enjoyed this one. Bye-bye.